Have you ever felt a strange heaviness in your home? Sleepless nights, sudden arguments, or a sense that something just isn't right? What if certain everyday items around you are actually inviting dark forces without you realizing it? Mufti Menk's reminder will open your eyes to the 10 hidden things you must remove right now. 1. Idol-like statues or figurines. Many people decorate their homes with statues or figurines without realizing their deeper spiritual impact. Whether they're ancient artifacts, animal statues, angel figures, or even decorative idols from other cultures, these objects can sometimes carry symbolic meanings that contradict Islamic belief. In Islam, anything that represents or imitates a false god, divine being, or living creature with a soul, whether human or animal, is discouraged to display, especially in places where prayer is performed. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, clearly warned against keeping images or statues of living beings in homes, explaining that angels of mercy do not enter a place where such objects are present. This isn't simply about decoration, it's about spiritual purity. When angels stay away, the home becomes vulnerable to negative energies, or even jinn. This creates an environment where unease, arguments, or anxiety may subtly take root, often without a clear reason. Many households unknowingly invite these energies through souvenirs, art pieces, or cute figurines bought during travel. Even if these items hold sentimental value, their presence might block barakah, blessings. The intention behind owning them might be innocent, but the spiritual effect can still be harmful. Islam encourages beauty and art, but always within the limits of what brings remembrance of Allah and peace to the soul. If you have such items, the best step is gentle removal, not out of fear, but out of awareness. You can donate or replace them with neutral, non-living decorations like calligraphy, plants, or nature-inspired designs. A home that reflects simplicity and tawheed, oneness of Allah, naturally becomes a place where angels feel welcome and the Quran's recitation flows easily. So take a moment to observe your surroundings. Ask yourself, does every object in my home bring me closer to Allah or distract me from Him? Clearing your space from idol-like statues isn't about superstition. It's about creating an environment of spiritual clarity and divine peace. When you let go of what blocks light, you make room for barakah, tranquility, and Allah's protection to fill your home. 2. Music-related symbols or instruments. Glorifying sin music is a powerful form of expression. It can inspire, heal, and connect people. But in today's world, much of the music that dominates our homes carries messages and symbols that directly oppose Islamic values. This is where the problem begins. The issue isn't just about rhythm or melody. It's about what those songs, instruments, or symbols represent and how they influence the spiritual atmosphere of your home. When music glorifies indecency, arrogance, or rebellion against Allah, it slowly darkens the heart. Instruments or decorative items linked to this lifestyle, such as guitars, drum sets, or posters of famous artists known for un-Islamic lyrics, can unintentionally invite that same energy into your space. What we expose ourselves to frequently shapes our emotions, thoughts, and behavior. If your home constantly echoes with lyrics that promote pride, lust, or materialism, it becomes difficult to feel spiritual calm and connection with Allah. Mufti Menk and other scholars often emphasize that our homes should be filled with remembrance, dhikr, not noise that distracts the soul. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, described music that stirs sinful desires as something that leads the heart away from the Quran. Over time, People may start to lose the sweetness of prayer or feel restless during silence, a sign that the heart has become accustomed to worldly sounds over divine remembrance. Removing such items doesn't mean stripping your home of joy. Islam encourages happiness, creativity, and expression, but through halal means. Replace music-related decor or instruments with something uplifting. Quranic calligraphy, nasheed without instruments, or sounds of nature that calm the heart. These choices invite angels and barakah, blessings, instead of unsettling vibrations. It's also helpful to reflect on the lyrics you often listen to. Do they motivate you toward gratitude and goodness, or do they awaken desires that pull you away from peace? By consciously choosing what fills your home, you protect not only your ears, but your soul and your family's emotional environment. Remember, every home has a sound. Let yours be one that echoes with verses of the Quran, sincere laughter, and words that please Allah. When you remove music that glorifies sin, you make space for serenity, clarity, and divine mercy to return. 3. Amulets or taweez with unknown origins. In many cultures, people wear or hang amulets, often called taweez, believing they bring protection, luck, or healing. While the intention might be pure, the real question is, what's inside that taweez and who made it? This is where the danger begins. Islam teaches that true protection comes only from Allah. When we place our faith in an object without knowing its source or content, we risk opening the door to shirk, associating partners with Allah, or attracting unseen harm. Some taweez are written by pious scholars who include Quranic verses or authentic du'as. These can be permissible according to some opinions. But the problem lies with those taweez that contain strange symbols, numbers, names of unknown entities, or writings not found in the Quran or Sunnah. These are often linked to black magic, seer, or jinn-related practices. People may unknowingly bring them into their homes, thinking they are blessed, when in fact, they invite dark forces and confusion instead of peace. Many families have shared stories of strange occurrences, fear during the night, sickness without reason, or sudden conflict, all traced back to hidden or inherited amulets. This happens because such objects can act as spiritual doorways for jinn, especially when they are written using forbidden practices. Mufti Menk and other scholars emphasize that a believer's protection lies not in an object, but in tawakkul, full trust in Allah's power. If you have any taweez at home and are unsure of its origin, handle it carefully. Do not open it unnecessarily or throw it away carelessly. Instead, seek advice from a trustworthy scholar who can check it safely. If found to contain impermissible content, it should be respectfully destroyed, often by burning it while reciting Ayatul Kursi and the last 3 surahs, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas. To replace such objects, fill your home with Quranic recitation, daily morning and evening adhkar, and the beautiful verses of protection revealed by Allah Himself. These are far stronger than any written charm. Remember, nothing can harm or protect you except by Allah's will. Real faith is invisible. It lives in your heart, not in an object. When you remove suspicious amulets and turn back to sincere dua, you invite angels, peace, and divine protection into your home. 4. Uncovered mirrors in dark rooms. Mirrors are ordinary household items. We use them daily without thinking twice. But in the world of spirituality, mirrors hold deeper significance. In Islamic tradition and cultural understanding, uncovered mirrors in dark or empty rooms have long been associated with attracting jinn or negative energies. This isn't superstition. it's about spiritual awareness and respecting unseen realities that Islam acknowledges. The jinn, as Allah mentions in the Quran, live among us but in a different realm. They can sometimes be drawn to reflective surfaces like mirrors, especially in places where dhikr, remembrance of Allah, is neglected. A dark, quiet room with an uncovered mirror can act as a gateway of sorts, not physically, but spiritually, where energies may linger. Many people who've experienced unsettling dreams, whispers, or sudden fear in certain rooms often report a mirror being present there. Scholars and spiritual teachers, including Mufti Menk, often remind believers to maintain a home environment filled with light, both physical and spiritual. Leaving mirrors uncovered in total darkness can create an atmosphere that feels heavy or uneasy, particularly at night. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, encouraged believers to recite Ayatul Kursi before sleeping and to cover food, water, and objects in the home, reflecting a deeper principle: protection through mindfulness. The same wisdom applies to mirrors. From a practical perspective, mirrors reflect energy. If your home feels unsettling, try observing where mirrors are placed. Avoid facing them toward your bed, prayer area, or directly opposite doors, where movement reflections can disturb peace. Covering mirrors at night, especially in unused rooms, is a simple and wise habit. It's not about fear. It's about respect for the unseen world Allah created. You can also purify your space with Quranic recitation and light. Recite Surah Al-Baqarah regularly as it drives away shayateen from the home. Keep your environment bright, clean, and filled with remembrance. The more you bring Allah's words into your home, the less room there is for anything harmful to settle. Ultimately, the goal isn't to live in fear of jinn or superstition, but to live with awareness and iman. A mirror is harmless when surrounded by dhikr and light, but caution and care protect the believer. Remember, every action, even covering a mirror, becomes an act of faith when done with the intention of seeking Allah's protection. 5. Horror or occult-related posters and books. Many people love a bit of thrill. Horror movies, spooky stories, or books about ghosts and witchcraft seem harmless entertainment, but spiritually, these items can leave an invisible mark on your home and your heart. What we surround ourselves with shapes our atmosphere. Posters of demonic creatures, skulls, or dark symbolism, and books or films glorifying fear, magic, or the occult don't just disturb the mind, they can also invite the very energies they depict. Islam teaches us to guard our hearts and homes from influences that draw us closer to darkness. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, encouraged believers to stay away from things that plant fear or confusion in the soul, because fear weakens faith. When a home becomes filled with horror-themed imagery or occult content, it becomes difficult to feel sakoon, the calmness that comes with Allah's remembrance. Instead, the environment begins to carry a heaviness that subtly affects sleep, mood, and focus during worship. Books and media that discuss witchcraft, sorcery, or summoning spirits, even out of curiosity, are especially harmful. These materials often contain names of jinn or practices forbidden in Islam. Reading or displaying them can unintentionally open a spiritual doorway that invites what should never be welcomed. Mufti Menk and other scholars frequently warn against normalizing evil symbols or treating them as harmless fun. What begins as curiosity can, over time, desensitize the heart to serious spiritual dangers. If you or your family keep such books or posters, take it as an opportunity to cleanse your space, remove them respectfully, and replace them with items that bring nur, light, Quranic calligraphy, uplifting quotes, or images of nature that remind you of Allah's creation. Fill the shelves with Islamic books, inspiring literature, or biographies of righteous people. These not only protect the heart, but also nurture spiritual growth. Your home should reflect peace, not fear. The angels of mercy enter places where Allah is remembered, not where darkness and fear are glorified. By letting go of horror and occult materials, you make a powerful statement that your home belongs to Allah alone. And when you do that, you'll notice a change, a lighter atmosphere, calmer nights, and a heart that finds rest in faith, not fear. 6. Black magic items or charms. Black magic, or sihr, is one of the most dangerous and forbidden practices in Islam. It represents direct cooperation with the forces of darkness and disbelief. Sadly, many people keep objects in their homes without realizing they are linked to such practices. These can include small pouches filled with strange powders, symbols written in unknown languages, or items wrapped in cloth and hidden in corners. Some even mistake them for protective charms, when in reality, they are tools used by magicians to summon jinn or manipulate unseen energy, something Islam strictly condemns. Allah clearly warns against sihr in the Quran, especially in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:102, where he tells us that magic was taught by devils to cause harm and division. Keeping items associated with black magic, even unknowingly, can invite immense negativity. People often report tension, sudden illnesses, disturbing dreams, or a heavy, fearful atmosphere in homes where such charms are found. This happens because these objects become anchors for jinn who thrive in environments where Allah's remembrance is weak. It's also important to know that not all black magic items look sinister. They might appear as folded papers, jewelry, or decorative objects with hidden inscriptions. Sometimes they're given as gifts or sold as spiritual enhancers. That's why awareness is vital. If you're unsure about something's origin, it's better to be cautious. If you suspect such items are in your home, do not handle or open them out of curiosity. Seek guidance from a trustworthy scholar or ruqyah spiritual healing practitioner who follows authentic Islamic methods. They can safely destroy these objects through Quranic recitation and proper cleansing. Burning, cutting, or throwing them away without protection can sometimes worsen the situation if not done correctly. Once these items are removed, focus on restoring your home's spiritual protection. Recite Ayatul Kursi, Surah Al-Baqarah, and the last 3 surahs regularly. Keep your space filled with dhikr, Quranic recitation, and positive energy. Remember, the light of Allah's words dissolves every form of darkness. True safety never comes from charms or secret rituals. It comes from sincere faith, patience, and reliance on Allah alone. When you cleanse your home from black magic items, you aren't just removing physical objects. You're reclaiming your spiritual peace and inviting divine mercy back into your life. 7. Photos of indecency or immodesty. In today's world, we're surrounded by images everywhere, on social media, in advertisements, and often unknowingly in our own homes. But few realize that keeping photos or posters of indecency, whether of immodestly dressed people, celebrities, or even artistic nude forms, can deeply affect the spiritual environment of a home. What may seem like harmless decoration or modern art can, in truth, repel angels and attract negative energies. Islam places great emphasis on modesty, haya, because it protects the purity of the soul. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Indeed, modesty is a branch of faith." When we display or even tolerate images that contradict this principle, we subtly weaken our spiritual defenses. Such pictures often represent a lifestyle rooted in vanity, desire, and disobedience to Allah. Their presence in a home normalizes what Allah has forbidden. And where sin is normalized, barakah, blessing, begins to fade. Mufti Menk and many scholars remind us that the home should reflect faith, not fitna. Even unintentional exposure to immodest imagery can dull the heart's sensitivity to sin. If angels of mercy avoid homes where these images exist, what remains is an atmosphere heavy with distraction, restlessness, or unexplainable tension. Many people notice that their prayers feel less focused, or their hearts feel distant when such objects are present. Purifying your space doesn't mean erasing beauty, it means redefining it. Replace inappropriate photos with Islamic calligraphy, scenic landscapes, or family pictures that reflect love and modesty. Choose art that uplifts your spirit rather than feeding your lower desires. This small change not only beautifies your space, but also aligns it with the values that invite divine tranquility. It's also wise to review the content you keep digitally. Wallpapers, posters, or framed photos on your phone or laptop screens. Every image you view or display shapes the state of your heart. Strive to let your surroundings remind you of Allah, not distract you from Him. When you remove indecent imagery from your home, you're not just cleaning your walls, you're cleansing your soul's atmosphere. A modest home becomes a haven for angels, where dhikr flows freely and hearts stay at peace. And in that peace, you'll feel it, the presence of Allah's mercy, guarding every corner. 8. Bells linked to jinn in hadith. Bells might seem like innocent decorations, hanging on doors, in gardens, or attached to keychains, but in Islamic tradition, they hold a deeper and often overlooked significance. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned against them, explaining in a hadith that the angels do not accompany a group with a bell. Sahih Muslim. Another narration mentions that bells are among the musical instruments of the shayateen, devils. This teaching highlights that certain sounds or objects can repel angels and invite negative energies instead. The issue lies not in the object's beauty, but in its spiritual effect. Bells produce a sharp, lingering vibration that, according to scholars, disrupts spiritual harmony. In the unseen world, jinn are drawn to certain sounds and frequencies, particularly those associated with fear, distraction, or arrogance. This is why many cultures use bells in rituals, exorcisms, or spirit summoning ceremonies. Islam, however, forbids all forms of imitation of such practices, no matter how harmless they may appear. Many people unknowingly keep bells as part of wind chimes, pet collars, or baby toys. While the intention might simply be to enjoy their pleasant sound, their constant ringing can subtly disturb the peace of a spiritually balanced environment. If angels avoid places where bells are heard, what remains is an atmosphere open to restlessness, disconnection, or unease, especially when dhikr and Quran recitation are neglected. Removing bells doesn't mean rejecting culture or aesthetics. It means choosing tranquility over noise. You can replace them with soft decor, like lanterns, plants, or calligraphy that symbolizes peace and remembrance. A quiet, calm home is one where hearts stay focused, and where the sound most often heard is Subhanallah or Allahu Akbar, not meaningless chimes. It's also helpful to reflect on the unseen wisdom behind this teaching. Islam is not about fear of objects, but about fostering environments that welcome angels of mercy. If even something as small as a bell can affect spiritual balance, imagine the purity of a home that's consciously kept free from all forms of spiritual disturbance. When you remove bells and fill your home with Quranic recitation, dua, and gratitude, you create harmony that vibrates on a much higher frequency, one of Nur, divine light, peace, and angelic presence. Every sound in your home then becomes a reminder of Allah, not an invitation to distraction. 9. Items with evil eye designs or pagan symbols. The evil eye symbol, the blue eye charm seen on keychains, jewelry, and home decor, has become extremely common. Many people believe it protects against jealousy or harm, but few realize its origins are rooted in pagan superstition, not Islamic faith. Similarly, other designs like pentagrams, zodiac symbols, or ancient runes often carry meanings that trace back to false beliefs and idol worship. Keeping such items even unknowingly can contradict Tawheed, the belief in Allah's oneness, and open spiritual doors that invite confusion or negativity. In Islam, protection from envy or harm comes through remembrance of Allah, not through symbols or charms. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us specific du'as for protection, such as Ayatul Kursi and Surah Al-Falaq and An-Nas. When we rely on objects for safety, even out of habit or cultural tradition, we unknowingly shift our trust from the Creator to creation, and that weakens our spiritual shield. Mufti Menk and many scholars remind us that the evil eye charm, Nazar Batu, and similar pagan symbols have no power. They neither harm nor protect. They are lifeless objects. Yet, because of their history and association with false beliefs, they can attract energies and influences that disturb the peace of a believer's home. Angels of mercy do not enter a place where shirk, association with Allah, or superstition is honored, even unintentionally. These items often appear innocent, printed on clothing, wall art, bracelets, or even furniture, but intention matters. When something symbolizes protection apart from Allah, it carries spiritual consequences. A believer's strength lies not in symbols, but in iman, prayer, and constant dhikr. If you have any items with such designs, don't panic. Simply remove or replace them with something pure and meaningful. Decorate your space with verses of the Quran, beautiful Islamic art, or reminders of gratitude. These bring Nur, divine light, and serenity instead of anxiety and confusion. When you replace superstition with faith, your heart immediately feels lighter. You'll notice your home feels calmer, your prayers deeper, and your mind clearer. True protection doesn't hang on your wall. It lives in your remembrance of Allah. When you trust Him fully, no charm, no eye, and no force can ever harm you. 10. Neglect of Quran, recitation and remembrance of Allah. Of all the things that can invite darkness into a home, nothing is more spiritually harmful than the absence of Allah's remembrance. When the Quran is rarely recited, and dhikr, remembrance of Allah, is forgotten, a home becomes like an empty shell, physically beautiful perhaps, but spiritually lifeless. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ compared the house in which Allah is remembered to one filled with light, and the one where He is not remembered to a deserted grave. That comparison alone reminds us how vital remembrance is for a peaceful and protected environment. When a home is silent of Quranic recitation, it becomes vulnerable to whispers, anxiety, and tension. Jinn and negative energies are drawn to such places because they thrive in heedlessness. On the other hand, when the Quran is recited, even for a few minutes daily, its divine words cleanse the air, calm hearts, and invite angels of mercy to dwell within. Mufti Menk and other scholars emphasize that the sound of the Quran is the most powerful form of spiritual protection, stronger than any charm or ritual. Think about how easily worldly sounds fill our spaces: music, chatter, TV, or social media. But when the recitation of Allah's words replaces that noise, the entire energy of the home shifts. It brings an unexplainable sense of calm, safety, and joy. Families who make it a habit to recite together even one short surah daily often find that their relationships soften, their sleep improves, and their hearts stay connected to Allah. Dhikr, too, is a silent fortress for the believer. Saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illa Allah, and Allahu Akbar throughout the day fills the space with light that no darkness can penetrate. Even simple acts, playing the Quran softly, greeting each other with salam, or saying Bismillah before every task, keep your home spiritually alive. Neglecting remembrance doesn't just affect the home, it weakens the soul. But the beauty of Allah's mercy is that revival is easy. One verse, one dua, one sincere remembrance can bring the light rushing back. So, make your home echo with Allah's name. Let every corner hear His words. For when the Quran fills a house, peace reigns, angels stay, and no darkness can remain. Your home deserves peace, not darkness. Fill it with Quran, dhikr, and gratitude. Say aloud, my home is protected by Allah's light. Comment this below and subscribe to Pious Deen for more guidance.